Hello and welcome again. My name is Samantha Francis, if you don't know already, FemmePOWER educator and your favorite no-nonsense mentor. Is that an assumption I'm making? Hopefully I am. So today I want to talk to you about something that I hear far too often, and I really want to discuss it because I know that I've been there myself personally with this feeling. And I know so many women out there that feel the same. And I want this video to correct you a little bit on something and to shift your lens and your thinking, and therefore, hopefully, your feelings around this particular subject. So, the truth is, life happens, and sometimes what happens to us is not very pleasant. And sometimes we reach a stage in life where we feel like, well, back to the drawing board, here I go again, back to square one. And I've heard that come out of my own mouth when I've gone through some pretty tough times. And I hear it come out of so many women's mouths. And it's really interesting because this came to me the other night as well, after hearing so many women say this in a very short space of time, interestingly enough. And I remember I was just sat down and I was writing some notes, and this message came through, which was you can never go back to the drawing board. You can never go back to square one because you're not the same person you were back then. You've evolved, you've changed. So you never actually ever go back to square one. Okay, you may feel like you're taking a few steps backwards, and actually in reality you're not, because I want to move on to that. But you never ever, it's impossible for you to go back to square one because you're not the same person you were back then. And part of that message also, what rang true for me, was the fact that we're not starting again, we're creating again. This is the thing. We're creating, we're always creating. So where maybe in the past we've created things in our lives and unknowingly or knowingly that got us to where we are now, we can create again. So it's not about starting again. It's about, honey, you get to create again. You've now been given a blank canvas where you can say, hey, this is my life at the minute. It feels very still. I don't like it very much. This feels painful, maybe even. But actually, I now get to say what I have and don't want and do want and will keep and won't keep in my life now. And this is a feeling that often comes up for many women when they've reached a place of maybe going through divorce, relationships ending, kids moving out, things maybe going wrong or not as planned. And it's like you're sat there and you're thinking, back to the drawing board. But why is there such a negative feeling around going back to the drawing board? Because on the drawing board, we get to be artists of our own lives. We get to create again. And we get to create better. We get to create things that are longer lasting. We get to create things that are more nourishing. I remember feeling this way when my second most impactful relationship ended. And I was so embarrassed. And obviously I had a hell of a lot of emotional stuff and baggage that I was carrying, and have worked through a significant amount of that. But I was so embarrassed. I was ashamed. I was like, I failed, and here I am. Look at me now, look at this. Like, I never envisioned this for myself. And, and a lot of the time we don't envision that we're going to end up in the places that we end up, because that's all surface level stuff. We operate from a space of how we feel about ourselves. So therefore that affects what we tolerate, who we tolerate, what we don't tolerate, what we accept, what we don't accept, what we allow, all of these things. And I remember just feeling so empty and just so, what was the point? And that's a horrible feeling to feel. Like, what was the point? What's the point of this anymore? Like, I've let down my children again. And it was a lot of tough, harsh words I was saying to myself and really beating myself down in that moment. But it gave me an opportunity to be the creator of my world and paint a life that felt better. And that is exactly what I did. I attracted in relationships that were much more healthier and nourishing. I attracted new friends into my world. You know, this was all after I'd finished, you know, beating the hell out of myself verbally over, you know, things that happened. And, you know, it was an opportunity to start again. And as I'm recording this to you, it's coming into springtime now in the UK, and I'm just looking out the window and there's a beautiful blossom tree there. And it's just giving me again more emphasis around the fact that, you know, we don't start again, we get to create again, we get to blossom. We get to blossom. And that's a beautiful moment to have, even if in that moment it feels painful, even in that moment it just feels like I've lost everything. It's still a beautiful moment and an invitation and an opportunity. Now, listen, I am all about feeling the emotions, and I am not for a minute saying, look, you know, condition yourself to not feel the pain and not feel the disappointment and just focus on the blossoming, focus on creation. No, if you want to feel sad, you feel sad. If you want to feel disappointed, you feel disappointed, because it can feel that way. And I don't in any way want you to dismiss how you're feeling, but I want you to also bring awareness to an opportunity here for you to create a better life for yourself. And I know a lot of women that have done that. They've had divorces, they've left men in relationships that just suck the life out of them, you know, and they've moved on to better and bigger and happier experiences because they reached that point of saying, here I am, I get to create again, you know, and they took that opportunity to have it. You see, we always get an opportunity to create. And that is always based on your feelings, your thoughts, your feelings, and then your actions. And it's a never-ending story for you. So I guess I wanted this message to just be like, hey, okay, you may feel like you're back at the drawing board. You may feel like you've gone back to square one. I'm going to tell you now, it's impossible. You can never go back to square one. The woman you are now is a much more developed and wiser woman that she was back then, you know, and you will continue that evolution as well, energetically also. So you can never go back to square one. But what you do get to do is be able to hold space for yourself in the moments that feel painful or feel disappointing, but also know that you do get to create again. And if you have any questions around that, if you need any extra support with that, you really do need to reach out, because I'm the queen of starting again. And it's actually gotten to a place now in my life where I'm actually, it's just going to sound mad, and I promise you I'm not mad, but I'm actually not afraid of loss anymore. And if you were speaking to the version of me like 15 years ago, loss and abandonment wounding, oh my God, was running riot within me and externally. But I'm not afraid of loss. And that doesn't mean for a minute that I don't value what I have in my life right now, because I absolutely do. I really, really do. The people, the situations, my life, I'm just in deep appreciation and feel very, very rich, for what I have. But I know that I have developed my emotional resilience, my emotional intelligence, and through evidence, continuous evidence of evolution, my evolution, that if things were to ever go in a direction where my relationship was to end, or something was to come to a close, or, you know, I would go through the process of releasing that, but it wouldn't be the ending of my world the way it was many, many years ago. My world would not come crashing down in the way it would have done many, many years ago, because I know I get to create again, because I know there's no lack, because I know that once I give myself permission to receive and give myself permission to create, I do get it. And that for me feels exciting. Would it feel exciting in that moment when you feel like you're going back to the drawing board? No, it won't. It won't. But it takes time. So if you do want support with that, you know where I am. You can send me a message on Facebook or get in contact with me via my website. All the information is here for you as well. But it was just my message today to let you know that you are not alone, that you are never going to go back to square one. And you absolutely do now get to create and have whatever it is you want. And again, if you want support with that, you know where I am. So I hope that helps, and I wish you a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.